This is Flight 19. We're off course. The compasses. They're not reading right. No. Wait, this can't be right. Everything looks the same. There's no land. We don't know where we are. The sky, it looks strange.
Long before it was known as the Bermuda Triangle, ancient sailors were already reporting unsettling things happening in this particular region. In 1492, Christopher Columbus crossed near what would later become the Triangle during his first voyage from Spain to the New World. His ship's log recorded unusual observations. One night, crew members saw strange light moving across the horizon, rising and falling like a distant flame. More worryingly, their compass needle began shifting, no longer pointing true to the North Star. To experienced sailors of the time, this was deeply alarming. Navigation depended entirely on the compass and the stars. If those instruments disagreed, a ship had no way of knowing where it was. As history tells us, Columbus and his crew made it safely. Centuries later, we understand this as a natural phenomenon. That specific area crosses the agonic line, a place where magnetic north and true north temporarily align, often disorientating compass readings. Today, science gives us a logical explanation, but to 15th century navigators, it made that part of the ocean feel unreliable and unsafe. But this was only the beginning. The region forms a rough triangle between Bermuda, Miami, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Roughly 500,000 square miles of open water. Surprisingly to some, this is one of the busiest maritime and aviation corridors on Earth. Shipping lanes connect North America to Europe, the Caribbean, and the Panama Canal. Commercial flights, military routes, and private aircraft. Thousands cross this stretch every week. But the environment here is unforgiving. The Gulf Stream races through this area, a powerful sea current that can, for example, sweep sea debris dozens or hundreds of miles away in hours. Tropical storms and squalls can form almost instantly. Tornado-like waterspouts appear without warning. Hurricanes sweep through the area regularly. Beneath the surface lies the Puerto Rico Trench, plunging more than 8,000 meters deep. If a ship or plane goes down here, it may sink beyond any hope of practical recovery, usually lost forever. The ocean doesn't just claim vessels, it swallows them whole. Ships were disappearing long before aircraft entered the picture. On February 22, 1918, the USS Cyclops, a massive US Navy collier ship, departed Brazil, bound for Baltimore, with 309 crew members and passengers aboard. She carried a heavy load of manganese ore, a dense material used in steel and armaments production. The ship never arrived. No distress signal was ever sent. No wreckage was ever discovered. It remains one of the largest non-combat losses in US naval history. Later investigations pointed to several practical factors. The vessel was heavily overloaded. One engine had reportedly experienced problems, and the captain had a reputation for erratic decisions. World War I was already underway, with German submarines active in the Atlantic. The Germans subsequently denied operations at that time. Other disappearances followed. derelict vessels found drifting empty, more ships vanishing between ports without trace. Among superstitious sailors, this stretch of water earned its ominous nickname long ago: the graveyard of the Atlantic. By the mid-20th century, aviation had become the fastest way to cross the Atlantic, but the pattern of vanishings continued. In 1948, the passenger aircraft Star Tiger vanished during a flight from the Azores to Bermuda. 31 people were on board. No distress signal, no wreckage recovered. Just 1 year later, in 1949, another Avro Tudor aircraft, the Star Ariel, disappeared along a similar route. 20 people aboard, again, the same eerie silence. Investigations later revealed that there were design issues with this aircraft type, including problems with cabin pressurization and heating systems. The aircraft type was eventually withdrawn from service, but by then, the stories had taken root. Planes that entered the region often never came back. December the 5th, 1945. 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, known as Flight 19, take off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for a routine navigation training exercise over the Atlantic. 14 men in total. The squadron leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, soon reports that both his compasses have failed. He believes the aircrafts are flying over the Florida Keys. In reality, they are far over the Bahamas. Disorientation sets in. Radio transmissions grow increasingly confused and frantic. Fuel begins to run low. The last messages suggest the planes are preparing to ditch into the ocean. No survivors are ever found. No planes, no wreckage. A rescue flying boat, a PBM Mariner, launches with 13 crew members to search for them. It vanishes too. Ships in the region reported seeing a flash in the sky, likely due to a mid-air explosion, a known hazard with that aircraft type. The Navy's official conclusion: pilot error, compass issues, bad weather and disorientation. No traces of the planes were ever recovered. Strangely, the term Bermuda Triangle did not exist when most of these incidents occurred. In 1964, American journalist Vincent Gaddis published an article in Argosy magazine. It was there, for the first time, he gathered a series of disappearances from the region and grouped them under one name: the Bermuda Triangle. A decade later, in 1974, author Charles Berlitz released a best-selling book that sold over 20 million copies. He wove actual disappearance cases together with speculation, injecting fantasy elements such as Atlantis, alien abductions and time warps, while often omitting real-world details like weather conditions, mechanical failures, or human error. As the legend exploded worldwide, many of the stories were misreported, exaggerated, or didn't even happen within the Triangle Zone itself. Modern research from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the US Coast Guard, and the United States Geological Survey find no evidence that this region is statistically more dangerous than other busy oceanic areas. Disappearances here occur at rates comparable to similar high traffic zones, once you adjust for volumes of ships and planes. Significantly, Insurance companies like Lloyd's of London have not raised premiums for the route since the 1970s. They consider the area to have no increased danger. Several natural and human factors explain most of these incidents. The area's heavy traffic, more vessels and aircraft simply mean more opportunities for accidents. The Gulf Stream flowing through this zone, the swift current can carry wreckage far away, leaving little evidence behind, perpetuating the myth of disappearances. Sudden storms in the area. Tropical systems form rapidly, bringing violent seas, downdraft and squalls. Rogue waves can occur, towering walls of water, sometimes up to 100 feet, have been documented in the Atlantic. They can overwhelm ships, though not uniquely frequent in this region specifically. Human error is a factor. Navigation mistakes, inexperienced pilots, or poor panic decisions in bad weather, as in Flight 19's compass confusion or the Cyclops' overload. Methane hydrates, seafloor deposits of frozen methane gas, could theoretically erupt, reducing water density and causing rapid sinking. Lab tests show it's possible, but according to the United States Geological Survey, no large-scale releases have occurred in this area for the past 15,000 years. Taken together, these create a perfect storm of conditions: natural hazards, heavy traffic, and human error. Most of the mysterious cases become clearer once the supernatural elements are removed, and weather records or mechanical issues come to light. Today, the route through the triangle remains routine. Hundreds of ships and planes cross daily. No special warnings, no extra caution from insurers or authorities. And yet, the stories endure. Multiple ships and aircraft have disappeared in incidents linked to this region. Searches often turned up nothing. Perhaps the enigma of the triangle endures because it saves us from admitting our own mistakes. The ocean itself doesn't create mysteries. We simply gave them a place to live. This video took a lot of time and research to put together, so if you enjoyed it, please consider liking, subscribing and sharing. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to bring more content like this your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.